The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Now up to bat, opening weekend winners and losers. Brandon, why don't you go ahead? You can pick which way do we start. Do we start with the winners or the losers?
I'm going to start with the winners, and I'm going to do a couple of teams and a couple of players for each. My team that's a winner, all they did was win this weekend, is the Texas Rangers. They sweep the Phillies and had a really impressive game last night on Sunday Night Baseball. Bruce Bochy comes in there, LJ, and really, I think, has turned that culture around and is a positive, just such a positive hire for them. We both talked really highly of that move when it happened right before the season ended last year. And look, I mean, Martin Perez pitched really good, and really their only negative of the whole weekend was how Jacob deGrom pitched, and they still end up winning that game. So Texas certainly caught my eye in terms of just team dominance this weekend. I mean, their offense in those first two games was outstanding. They currently lead the MLB with 29 runs scored. And it's been really impressive to see what they've been doing.
Absolutely. Moving over to another American League side here in terms of winners, another team that kind of early on has at least defied expectations here, the Tampa Bay Rays. They start their opening series, they sweep it. They're a 3-0 record right now, but what's more impressive is the manner in which they did it. In those 3 games, averaging 7 runs while only allowing 1 run on average through those games. That's 21-3, a plus 18 run differential through opening weekend. We've seen teams blow out other sides. I believe it was 2 years ago that Oakland kind of had Houston's number early in the season, but I'm bought in. I was already bought in. This was my value pick going into the season for the AL East. I feel like this team has a lot more to show than people really thought people felt would meet the eye. Zach Eflin looked exactly how we were all expecting Zach Eflin to look when you give him that kind of money. I still don't even understand the money that was given to him based on past performance. But then you go out and see him allow 3 hits over 5 innings. I mean, this guy's legit. Jeffrey Springs comes out of nowhere, and I know it's Detroit. Like, I'll give you that, qualifier here. Yes, this is the Detroit Tigers we're talking about. But when you see a team so wholly and utterly outclass their opponent, that's a really good sign for the future, or at least minimum the run that this team can get on going into Memorial Day.
Jeffrey Springs, 6 innings of no-hit ball and 12 strikeouts. I mean, where did that come from? And one of 2 pitchers to exit with a no-hit bid. Of course, Jack Flaherty on Saturday had one of the weirder no-hit bids going. He went 5 innings, no hits, but had walked 7 batters up until that point. Exited, and then they did give up a hit. But Tampa throws a 2-hitter yesterday with 14 Ks. And I believe it is just Texas and Tampa. Those are the only 2 undefeated teams. Minnesota, that's right. Minnesota is still undefeated as well. Forgot that they kind of beat up on Kansas City all weekend. But yeah, LJ, do you want to give some losers here?
I would love to give a loser here. My loser is the Baltimore Orioles. Actually, more specifically, all the people who heavily bought into the Baltimore Orioles already, which includes us to an extent, because this is a very talented team. They put together a good record, but let's also not, let's think about the fact that this pitching has historically blown for a very long time. Like,
really long time.
Like more than just been bad. These guys have sucked. And yes, you bring in 2, solid names, people who've proven themselves in the past, in Kyle Gibson and Cole Irvin, but that bullpen did not look nearly as good as it did last year in that opening series. The rotation really struggled here. Their best ERA coming out of this, and the only guy to make it 5 innings was Kyle Gibson, and I believe he had 3 earned.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't a good start. It was not a good start by any means, and so I sit here wondering what could possibly be the ceiling for this team with such a bad situation. I mean, yes, you were able to get wins, and this offense looked really good going into the year, but they're not going to be able to rely on that all year long. When you have your ace in Kyle Gibson giving 4 earned 5 innings, and that being the highlight of your week, that's going to be a problem for this team. And it's going to continue to be a problem because this group just does not know how to teach or coach pitching from a system standpoint. So if you're not able to get the system right, you're never going to be able to get successful. The only hope they have is John Means coming back and being like gangbusters, because he's been the only one who's actually been able to fit what they tried to do really well. They have not found another system guy in basically the entire time they've been doing this.
For my loser, I'm going to take Seattle. More importantly, the Seattle offense. So they dropped 3 of 4 to the Guardians. And, I mean, wow, some of these offensive stats for the Mariners are quite shocking. You're talking a slash line as a team of 197, 254, 318. They only managed 12 runs in 4 games. And you're looking at a team that I believe it's second lowest walk rate after this weekend, or fourth lowest walk rate. Somehow the Diamondbacks only had a 0.8% walk rate for the entire weekend. I don't know how that's possible. But yeah, 5.6% walk rate to a 24.6% strikeout rate as a team for Seattle. 59 weighted runs created plus. Not a good showing from them, especially opening up your season at home after such a good performance in the playoffs last year. I was a little surprised to see them come out so flat, and their one win came off of a Ty France Oppo Taco home run off James Karinchak in I think it was the bottom of the 8th inning on opening day in what was a 0-0 game. They had done nothing up until that point, and you get a wall scraper Oppo Taco home run, and you're able to close it out like that. But they really couldn't get much going the whole weekend, and I don't want to say cause for concern yet, but for an offense that, I thought, and LJ and I both really liked, I picked them to get to the World Series, with the likes of, adding Teoscar Hernandez and Tommy La Stella, Colton Wong, guys that, you would think would help out this offense. Certainly not looking the best after their first 4 games.
All right, and just for fairness' sake, I think we went with 4 for 4 of the American League teams. I will give a loser National League. Philly's got nothing going other than off DeGrom, which is a guy they've seen a lot over the years and did not put his best stuff forward. So that's cause for concern as well. They desperately need Bryce Harper to get back into this lineup.